Hello everyone, Red Lip here. Las Vegas, where buffets once reigned supreme as the ultimate indulgence, drawing millions of hungry tourists through casino doors with promises of endless luxury and abundance. Today, we're talking about a fallen giant, a cautionary tale of what happens when legacy meets negligence. The Bellagio buffet, once the crown jewel of strip dining, now operates like a ghost of its former self, limping along with weekend-only dinners and a reputation that's plummeting faster than a bad hand at the blackjack table. Picture this: Sunday night at the legendary Bellagio, where fountains dance and high rollers play, yet their buffet sits nearly empty at 6:17 p.m. with barely 30% occupancy. We've invested $74.99 per person, plus our precious Vegas evening, to answer one burning question. Is there any legitimate reason this buffet still exists? Or is MGM simply coasting on faded memories and tourist ignorance? We're about to dissect this dining disaster piece by piece, comparing it to every major buffet on the Strip, and trust me, you'll be shocked at just how far the mighty have fallen. By the end of this review, you'll understand exactly why locals avoid this place like a rigged slot machine, and why you should too. Let's start with the operational reality that should have been our first red flag. The Bellagio buffet, in what can only be described as a strategic retreat from relevance, now opens only for brunch 7 days a week and adds dinner service just on Saturdays and Sundays. Think about that for a moment. This is the Bellagio, not some off-strip property struggling for foot traffic. When a premier casino essentially admits defeat by closing dinner service 5 nights a week, that's not scheduling efficiency. That's a white flag of surrender. The pricing structure adds insult to injury at $74.99 per person for what they ambitiously call their seafood dinner on weekends. For context, that's only $25 less than the magnificent Wynn Buffet, where every station operates like a Michelin-starred restaurant, and just $5 more than the Palms, which at least delivers fresh lobster on certain nights. Non-alcoholic beverages remain complimentary through standard freestyle Coke machines, while cocktails run a steep $19 each. The unlimited beverage package at $31.99 theoretically offers value for heavy drinkers, including house wines, draft beers, and brunch classics like mimosas and Bloody Marys. Though you'd need serious dedication to break even. Here's where the experience takes its first nosedive. They close at 8 p.m. sharp, with staff literally removing food by 8:15 p.m. Let that sink in. A Vegas buffet closing before most shows even start, treating dinner service like an inconvenient obligation rather than a hospitality cornerstone. Walking through those buffet doors on this particular Sunday evening felt like entering a restaurant that had already given up. Entire sections sat cordoned off, not from overflow crowds, but from sheer lack of necessity, creating an atmosphere more reminiscent of a closing sale than a celebration of cuisine. Let's begin our culinary investigation at the salad station, where mediocrity announces itself with crushing obviousness. The selection, if we can dignify it with that term, consists of basic romaine, iceberg, and baby spinach, with standard toppings that would embarrass a Ruby Tuesday. As one fellow diner aptly noted, the pre-made salads languish in their containers. Caesar salad with wilted edges, potato salad with that telltale institutional flavor, and coleslaw that tastes like resignation. The fresh fruit section offers the usual suspects: melons, pineapple, grapes, all perfectly adequate if you're looking for something a hotel continental breakfast might provide. The Middle Eastern corner attempts sophistication with hummus, baba ganoush, and tabbouleh, alongside pita chips. While the hummus maintains decent texture with subtle tahini undertones, the baba ganoush lacks that essential smokiness that transforms roasted eggplant into something magical. The lone bright spot in this section emerges at the build-your-own poke station. Here, finally, we discover something approaching creativity. Sushi rice as a base, spicy tuna and salmon, fresh mango, cucumber, avocado, sriracha aioli, and seaweed salad components. The execution, while not exceptional, at least demonstrates effort. The spicy tuna carries adequate heat without overwhelming the palate, though the fish itself lacks that buttery richness that distinguishes premium poke from food court offerings. Moving to the cold seafood section, we encounter what should be any respectable Vegas buffet showcase: The shrimp cocktail, historically a Vegas institution, sits in crushed ice, looking decidedly tired. And here's where personal history intrudes. Years ago, when this buffet commanded respect and $100 price tags, I experienced the worst shrimp cocktail of my life at this very station. Tonight's offering, while not reaching those catastrophic depths, still manages to disappoint with rubbery texture and that telltale frozen then thawed flavor profile. The shrimp ceviche attempts Latin flair, but falls victim to over-marination, the citrus having long ago crossed from brightening to dominating. The accompanying sushi rolls, which I typically avoid at buffets on principle, look exactly as uninspired as expected. Grocery store quality at luxury prices. The hot seafood station promises redemption with its impressive display. Snow crab and stone crab legs come pre-plated, a practical touch that speeds service but raises questions about holding times. The snow crab, our first taste of potential salvation, cracks easily enough and delivers decent sweetness. While not piping hot, the meat remains tender and worth the effort, especially when properly baptized in melted butter. The stone crab, always the trickier cousin, proves predictably challenging, with its denser texture and less yielding flavor. Still, for crab enthusiasts, this station alone might justify enduring everything else. Though that's a devastating indictment of a $75 buffet. The oysters Rockefeller should represent sophistication, but instead deliver a masterclass in overcooking. The spinach-based topping has congealed into something unrecognizable, while the oysters themselves have shrunk to rubbery racers, their delicate brine completely obliterated by excessive heat. Adjacent to the seafood, the teppanyaki station offers a glimmer of made-to-order hope. The chef mans his station with skewers of shrimp, pork, chicken, and beef, grilling them fresh upon request. The shrimp skewers, despite their appealing char marks and aromatic seasoning, suffer from chronic overcooking. The texture has crossed from firm to genuinely tough, requiring determined chewing, while the marinade, a pleasant blend of soy, garlic, and ginger, can't compensate for the fundamental preparation failure. The Asian section sprawls across considerable real estate, with predictable offerings. Vegetable fried rice lacks any discernible wok hei, that essential breath of the wok that elevates good Chinese cooking. The Mongolian beef, swimming in a generically sweet brown sauce, could have come from any mall food court. The texture suggests it's been holding too long, with the meat taking on that distinctive steam table toughness. The dim sum selection initially raises hopes, with properly formed pork and shrimp shumai, yet biting into them reveals the harsh truth. They're dense, gummy, and lacking the delicate balance that defines quality dim sum, though still superior to the Palms attempt, the pasta station. Because apparently every Vegas buffet requires one regardless of theme, offers seafood and vegetable paella alongside various Italian preparations. The paella, which should celebrate saffron and seafood, instead tastes like yellow rice with scattered ingredients, lacking any depth or authenticity. The cavatappi with chicken drowns in a cream sauce that tastes more like flour-thickened milk than any respectable Alfredo. The bolognese, that benchmark of Italian comfort, arrives as a watery, under-seasoned disappointment that would horrify any Italian grandmother. At the carving station, we encounter what should be straightforward execution: roasted turkey and honey-glazed ham. The turkey, predictably dry despite its gravy life support, crumbles like sawdust with each bite. The ham fares marginally better, maintaining some moisture, though the honey glaze tastes suspiciously like corn syrup with a hint of spice. The accompanying cranberry sauce, clearly from a can, makes no attempt to hide its origins. The vegetable sides deserve special recognition for their spectacular failure. The corn on the cob, advertised as street corn, arrives as mushy, flavorless kernels that dissolve into paste, having clearly spent time in the freezer before being boiled into submission. Roasted vegetables, supposedly a simple preparation, arrive simultaneously burned and undercooked, achieving that special kind of failure that requires genuine effort. The mashed potatoes possess the distinctive texture and flavor of instant powder, complete with telltale lumps that no amount of gravy can disguise. Even the Asian vegetables, which should provide crisp contrast, have surrendered to the steam table's relentless assault. Every vegetable on this buffet seems to have given up on life. much like the establishment itself. Let's discuss the pizza station, because nothing says premium Bellagio experience quite like mass-produced pizza. The pepperoni sits under heat lamps, developing that characteristic cardboard texture, while the cheese has long since congealed into an unappetizing mass. The vegetarian option, optimistically topped with bell peppers and mushrooms, manages to make vegetables even less appealing than the dedicated vegetable station. The crust achieves that special combination of simultaneously soggy and stale that only buffet pizza can deliver. The Mexican station, because cultural authenticity is clearly paramount here, offers hard-shell tacos with all the fixings. The seasoned ground beef tastes exactly like every school cafeteria Taco Tuesday you're trying to forget. Complete with that mysterious orange grease, the Spanish rice beside it could double as adhesive, while the refried beans have developed that crusty edge that signals hours under heat. The salsa at least appears fresh, though when salsa becomes your culinary highlight, you've already lost the battle. Throughout this gastronomic gauntlet, service remains professional despite the circumstances. Our server, maintaining admirable composure, checks on us regularly. Though what can she really do when the product itself has failed so fundamentally? The busboys clear plates efficiently, perhaps understanding that diners want evidence of their poor choices removed quickly. The beverage station stays stocked, though no amount of Coke products can wash away the taste of disappointment. Now we arrive at desserts, traditionally the redemption song of Vegas buffets, where even mediocre establishments can salvage dignity with sugar and butter. The gelato station offers respectable variety: vanilla, cappuccino, birthday cake, cookies and cream, chocolate, strawberry, plus lemon and raspberry sorbets. The gelato itself maintains decent texture, neither too icy nor artificially smooth, though the flavors lack intensity. The birthday cake variety tastes like vanilla with food coloring, while the cappuccino barely whispers of coffee. The dessert display case presents a parade of ambition, exceeding execution. Mini pumpkin tarts disappear quickly, though whether from popularity or small batch size remains unclear. The key lime pie lacks both key lime tartness and pie crust integrity, dissolving into sweet mush. The tiramisu, that Italian classic requiring delicate balance, instead delivers soggy ladyfingers drowning in over-sweetened mascarpone. Red velvet cake, which should be moist and tangy with cream cheese frosting, arrives dry as desert sand. The frosting, whipped to excessive lightness, tastes more like sweetened air than the rich tanginess red velvet demands. The cheesecakes, both traditional and ube, suffer from that telltale frozen then thawed texture, weeping moisture and lacking creamy density. The strawberry cream puffs, which should offer delicate choux pastry, instead provide soggy shells filled with artificially flavored cream. The cake pops, both pistachio and vanilla, represent the dessert station's lone success. Dense, moist cake coated in quality white chocolate, the pistachio version actually tastes like pistachio rather than green-tinted vanilla. The French macaron section sits empty, a metaphor for the entire experience. Even when items exist, they're shadows of what they should be. Promises unfulfilled and potential unrealized. The creme brulee deserves special mention as perhaps the most egregious failure. Rather than that characteristic crisp sugar shell giving way to silky custard, we receive runny custard topped with wet granulated sugar. No torch has blessed this dessert. No caramelization has occurred. It's creme brulee in name only, like calling a bicycle a motorcycle because they both have wheels. The donuts, admitted purchased rather than made in-house, provide the most honest item on the buffet. They're grocery store donuts, nothing more or less, achieving their modest goals without pretense. The chocolate croissants, mislabeled and looking nothing like croissants, exemplify the attention to detail throughout. When you can't even label your desserts correctly, what hope does the actual food have? Let's address the elephant in the room, the 8 p.m. closure. This isn't just early by Vegas standards, it's absurd by any restaurant metric, suggesting management has already mentally closed this operation. When staff inform guests that food disappears by 8:15 p.m., they're essentially admitting defeat. No legitimate buffet operates this way, treating guests like inconveniences rather than the entire reason for existence. Comparing this experience to other Vegas buffets provides essential context. The Wynn, at roughly $100, delivers exceptional quality across every station, with fresh preparations and genuine creativity. The Palms, significantly cheaper even without coupons, manages better execution despite its lower price point. South Point, at a fraction of this cost, provides honest, satisfying food without pretense. Even Circus Circus, the theoretical bottom of Vegas buffets, might provide better value. When your $75 buffet makes people nostalgic for Circus Circus, you've achieved a special kind of failure. The Las Vegas Advisor coupon book at $50 includes a 2-for-1 at the Palms that can save $80 on lobster night. This means for less than the cost of one person at Bellagio, 2 can eat superior food at the Palms. The mathematics of failure become clear when analyzing value. At $75 per person, you're paying roughly $3 per disappointing bite, $10 per edible item, and $75 for the privilege of understanding why this buffet sits empty. For that same money, you could enjoy an exceptional meal at any number of Vegas restaurants. Mon Ami Gabby would serve you steak frites with a view of the fountains, while Lotus of Siam would deliver Thai food that's earned national acclaim. The tragedy here isn't just bad food, it's squandered potential. The Bellagio name still carries weight. Tourists still trust the brand. Yet management has chosen to exploit rather than honor that trust. This represents everything wrong with corporate casino dining: maximum extraction with minimum investment. They're banking on one-time tourists who won't know better until it's too late, sacrificing reputation for short-term profit. The empty dining room tells its own story. Locals have long since learned to avoid this place, and word spreads quickly in the age of social media and review sites, yet somehow it persists. A zombie buffet shuffling through motions without purpose or pride. The staff deserve better than serving food they must know disappoints, maintaining professional standards while the product fails them. For the Bellagio's management, this buffet represents a crucial decision point. Either invest in genuine restoration, returning this venue to its former glory, or admit defeat and close with dignity. This current middle ground serves no one. Not guests seeking value, not the Bellagio brand, not even the bottom line. When your buffet requires warning labels about mediocrity, perhaps it's time to reconsider its existence entirely. The most damning indictment comes from my dining companion, a Las Vegas local who's seen this city's evolution. His assessment? For the money, this is the worst buffet in Vegas. Carries the weight of someone who's sampled them all. When locals, who know every deal and secret in town, declare your buffet the worst value, that's not opinion anymore. That's mathematical fact. Empirical evidence of failure so complete, it achieves a kind of perverse perfection. So here's my final verdict on the Bellagio buffet, delivered with all the diplomatic subtlety it deserves. This isn't just a bad buffet. It's an insult to the very concept of Las Vegas excess and abundance. At $74.99, you're not paying for quality, variety, or experience. You're paying for the privilege of disappointment in a famous casino, funding the continuation of mediocrity through misplaced trust. Save your money, save your stomach, save your Vegas memories from this catastrophe. Walk the extra minutes to win, catch a cab to Palms, hell, grab McDonald's and pocket the difference. Any alternative surpasses subjected yourself to this gastronomic ghost town. The Bellagio buffet stands as proof that reputation without investment equals inevitable decline. Until we eat again, this is Red Lip saying, protect your palate and your wallet from this Vegas tragedy. Don't let the Bellagio name fool you. This buffet died years ago, and they're just charging admission to view the corpse. Like this video if it saved you from wasting $75 on disappointment, and subscribe for honest reviews that separate Vegas treasures from tourist traps. Hit that notification bell because we're constantly hunting for the best and worst Vegas has to offer. And trust me, after this disaster, anything will be an improvement.